Hello, how are you? Today I brought a recipe that you're going to love it. It's a low-carb recipe. It's great if you're doing low-carb, if you want to control your blood sugar, or if you're doing low-carb to lose weight, you'll love it. No wheat flour, no gluten. It's a great afternoon snack, but it also works really well for dinner. Sometimes you can pair it with a salad. It's super versatile. You're going to love it. It's a very quick recipe. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. If you love easy, quick, and healthy recipes, you're going to love this channel. Take the opportunity to subscribe and remember to turn on the notification bell to get updates. I have new videos every day. You won't want to miss them. Remember that the ingredients, quantities, and nutritional information for the recipe will be down below in the description for you, as always, and also in the first pinned comment. So, the first thing I'm going to do is mix some ingredients here in this bowl, which you'll understand in a moment. The first one I'm going to add here is cream cheese. Remember that I have a recipe here on the channel for making homemade cream cheese, which is more interesting, has fewer preservatives, and you actually know exactly what ingredients are in it. Because there are some cream cheeses sold out there that have starch or something else added to give the cheese a creamier texture. And we don't want that, especially if you're doing low carb. So if you want to make your own at home, I'll leave the recipe here for you. I'm going to add a bit of Parmesan cheese here. Let's give this a mix. The Parmesan cheese will already season and salt the mixture, so I chose not to add any extra salt to this dough. I'm relying on the saltiness of the Parmesan itself. If you want to substitute it with grana padano or another strong flavored but dry cheese, you can do that too. Now I'm going to add the mozzarella. The one I'm using here is light and already grated. But you can use whatever cheese you like. At this stage, ideally, it should be a more elastic cheese. Because we have the Parmesan, which will add that seasoning and the crunchiness we need, it's a drier, harder cheese. And mozzarella is more elastic, so it helps give our dough a nice consistency. Let's mix everything together here. It doesn't need to be ultra mixed because we're going to melt this and that will help it become more homogeneous. But before melting it, I'm also going to add the nut flour here. You can use either almond flour or peanut flour. Usually when we use peanut flour for these recipes, the ideal is to use raw, skinless peanuts because it has a very neutral flavor, it's very similar to almond flour, and much cheaper in general. So if you want to substitute, it can be a good option. I even have a video here talking about almond flour, about peanut flour, and another one discussing low-carb flours in more detail, and I'll leave all of that down below in the description. Now looking at it like this, it looks like coarse sand. It seems like it didn't work out, but we're going to take this to melt in the microwave in 30-second intervals, stirring each time until it reaches a dough-like texture. I'll be right back to show you. Look, I kept stirring it in the microwave, and when it comes out, it gets a bit more pliable, softer. As it cools down, it becomes a bit firmer, but it's important that we actually stir it a bit to let it cool before adding the egg, because otherwise the egg will cook here, it'll turn into scrambled eggs, and it won't work. So now you see that everything worked out. I'm also going to add a bit of oregano here and mix it well until it becomes a homogeneous dough. You'll understand better in a moment because if we don't add the egg here, as this cools down, like I mentioned, it will get stiffer, and the egg will give it a really nice flexibility and help form an interesting dough. So I'm going to mix this well and I'll be right back to show you how it's turning out. Look how beautiful and flexible the dough is. If you want to get your hands in the dough, go ahead. Do whatever you find easiest. Now I'm going to divide it into about 3 pieces and roll out these pieces so I can fill them later. To roll it out, I always find it easier if we use parchment paper here because that way it won't stick. So I'm going to take a piece of our dough here and place a sheet of parchment paper on top. I've got another sheet of parchment paper here. Just give it a little crumple to make it easier for you, and then just keep rolling and spreading the dough so it forms a roughly round shape, which will make things easier. If you like videos with low-carb, healthy, and tasty recipes for the weekend, sometimes a snack or something different, go ahead and leave your like, and I'll come back and make more recipes like this for you. So, the thinner you make it, the more delicate the dough becomes, and the tastier it is. It's more pleasant to eat. So I'm going to keep working on it here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be perfectly round because later we can fix it and any leftover dough goes back into this pile here and we can make more if there's enough. So it's not a problem. I'll keep working on it here. Look, to make it as round as possible, which again, doesn't have to be perfectly round, just more rounded, let's say. I kept shaping it, taking some from here, putting it there. You can see it's a bit cut on this side. We kind of build it like Lego, so to speak, to get it as round as possible. I'm going to add a bit of chicken as the filling here. This chicken I have here was cooked and shredded. I added a bit of curry, you can see it here, some seasonings, salt, black pepper, garlic, onion, a bit of tomato. You can add whatever you like, whatever you think will taste good. So I think that's enough filling, because with filling, there's always that thing. We want to add a lot to make it tasty, but if we put in too much, then we can't close it afterwards. So we fold it like this until the ends meet here, more or less. It should have been a little more over here. And we close it. It's important to leave a bit of space here so that later in the oven, it doesn't open up. And then we come in here with the spatula. I think I'll actually use a spoon because I think it'll be easier. I grabbed a fork, which makes it easier, especially because later I want to add that detail you see on baked pastries. So all of this leftover dough right here, we simply put it back into this bowl, and then we can make more delicious empanadas later on. And if you want to make those marks you see on baked pastries here, it also looks nice. Then we'll put this on the baking tray, bake it, and afterwards, I'll tell you how many we got. I'm gonna make some more here. Look how delicious. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to be ready. I made these 3 here and there are 2 more in the oven, but I'll show you what it looks like inside. Come here. Look, I'll show you that it's easy to take out. And see, it's nice and golden on the bottom too. If you want it even more golden, just leave it in a bit longer. And look at how the dough turns out. Isn't it amazing? Make it at home, everyone will love it. It's really well filled. And now I'm going to give it a try. Tell me what filling you're going to use for this recipe. I'd love to see your comment. Take a look at my low-carb snack playlist. There are lots of delicious recipes there. Also remember to like the video because it helps me, and share it with anyone you know who will enjoy it, with those who need it. Let's spread this chain of good. That's what I want here on the channel. Let's give it a try. Wonderful! I dare say this was the best baked empanada I've ever made here on the channel. So don't waste time, make it, and let me know how yours turns out. See you next time. Bye! I'm going to eat another piece.